Welcome to Sell Like You, the ultimate sales podcast that will teach you how to make sales your superpower, transform your mindset, and in doing so, explode your sales beyond your wildest dreams. I'm Harriet Meller, and over the last 17 years, I've helped hundreds of top companies around the world, including my own, make more money and qualify more leads using simple strategies that work. In this podcast, you'll learn how I generated over 10 million in annual sales, along with the sales techniques, processes, and tools that will work for you to generate more dream-aligned clients and scale your business beyond what you thought was possible. If you're sick of the boring, outdated, and pushy sales tactics of the past, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sell Like You with me, Harriet Meller. It's great to be back in your ears. And this week's episode is about sales mindset. It's something that I have talked about before. It's something that I certainly mention a lot. But I feel like I need to revisit this again because the sales mindset piece comes up so often. If you are not a dedicated salesperson, as in you are not in an active selling role, or maybe that's not your desired role. Maybe you're running a business, or maybe you're looking to grow your team. The sales mindset, your sales mindset will play a huge part in your success. So if you have a sales mindset, a strong mindset, a positive mindset around sales, you will generate different outcomes than you will do if you have a negative sales mindset. And so I want to share with you today about understanding your sales mindset, the fact that it's got the ability to support you to succeed if you utilize it properly. I want to talk about how your mindset affects your outreach, tips for developing a positive mindset, and then a few takeaways for something that you can actually go away and do and things that you can think about. So understanding your sales mindset means that the right mindset is essential to succeeding in sales. It is certainly there when you are outbounding, more so than anything else, because the outreach is there. The cold call, as people like to call it. I like to call it a warm call. But if we look at the cold calling, look at the outreach, look at the new introductions that we are looking to be making, that's where often people's mindset fails them. And so if we approach selling from a perspective that we are supporting, that we are serving, that we are nurturing, that we are adding value, we will succeed in a totally different way than if we pick up that phone and outreach to somebody with the mindset that we are annoying them, that we are pestering them, that we are interrupting their day, and that we've got no value to add. Now that comes also with confidence of what it is that you're going to say. It's that conversation starter. And so when we have that along with our mindset, it certainly plays a huge part. So we absolutely do need the skill. You can have all the mindset in the world, but if your technique isn't there, if you haven't got the right language pattern, if you are not approaching a conversation the right way, it absolutely will have a detrimental effect. But your mindset, when you've got the right tools, when you've got the processes, when you know how you want to approach something, adding your mindset into that will play a huge part. And so we want to have that positive outlook, the right attitude towards rejection, towards failure, because again, if I look at clients that I work with, when I look at how they're outbounding currently, if the team don't want to do it, it's because they're not seeing success. And nobody wants to do something that they're always being told no, or they are always being rejected, because that's just not fun. And so we're going to choose that path of least resistance, which may be sending an email instead of picking up the phone. It may be not doing it at all. And so I want you to understand the fact that if we've got the right attitude towards the no, then we can handle that when it comes our way. So if our mindset is strong, is positive, is focused around this awesome outcome that we can support this potential client to achieve, we go in with a different outlook. We go in with that solid belief. We have a conversation utilizing the tools and techniques that we've got under our belt. But when we get the no, or when we get told we're okay, we're already working with somebody, we're okay, we've already got that covered, it's about it's about knowing how to overcome that's objection handling potentially at this stage. But again, with the mindset piece is actually, look, I was just picking up the phone because I noticed this, or I saw you on here, or I saw your post, or we've been working with somebody that's really similar to you and they've had incredible success. I just felt like I would be doing a disservice if I didn't pick up the phone and give you a call and find out how you're doing it. And so yes, within that, we've got objection handling. Yes, within that, we've got language patterns. But the other side of it is that if you go in with absolute belief that you can help transform them, their life, or their business, you should be picking up that phone. You should be contacting them. And you're not annoying them if you're adding value. Generally, when we think about annoyance, it comes down to that cold call about, do you want an online business manager? Do you want to switch providers? Would you like solar? Do you want extra leads? That's certainly one I get a lot of. And it's not warranted because you haven't understood me. You haven't understood where I'm at. And again, for them, they're just ticking that box. They're just doing the outbound call without a different opening. And that certainly comes into what you say and how you say it. But understanding your mindset as to when it comes to an outbound approach, forget the wording bit. Are you confident in making that call? Do you believe that the outcome is going to be positive? Or do you believe the outcome is going to be putting the phone down, saying no, or not being let through? So be mindful of where your mindset is sitting, and understanding that your mindset has a huge impact, as I said, especially on outbound. It influences your behavior, your communication, the way that you communicate, and your ability to connect with prospects. And so again, if our mindset is holding us back, it's going to affect the way that we show up. So I had a client recently, I was doing some training, and one of the team said, oh yeah, but nobody picks up. So again, we're going in with that mindset that nobody is going to pick up. And whether you've read The Secret and you believe in law of attraction or not, if you go into that mindset that nobody's going to pick up, you're putting it out there that nobody's going to pick up. And so the chances are that when somebody does pick up, you're not prepared for it because you're like, well, no one's going to pick up. So why bother? B, no, I'm not prepared. And C, I'm just going to go along with it because I've been asked to do it for an hour. Another way is things that we're interrupted in. We've got their personal mobile. Well, the personal mobile was information that's available to you, hence why you have it. And again, if we go in there with the mindset, the belief that I'm doing a disservice if I do not pick up this phone, if I do not reach out to you directly, because I know what I teach or what I sell or the product that I have has transformed other people's, their lives or their businesses. I have a duty. I have to go out there and share that. And, if you hear about the passion that's in my voice right now, because I truly, truly believe that if you're going to do outbound, you have to believe that you are calling them for a purpose, that you have value to add to that person within their organization. And so understanding where mindset plays a part, understanding that it can certainly hold you back, it can slow down the process, it can reduce your confidence, but you're always going to procrastinate if your mindset isn't positive. You're going to find something else to do because, again, as I said, if you are not being successful in outreach, then why on earth would you do it? I wouldn't. If I was getting no's all the time, if I was being rejected all the time, I'm not going to do that. So why would you want to do that? But it's about mindset, it's about confidence, and it's about having the skill set that will support you in being able to do it. So when it comes to developing, well, Harriet, that sounds great, but how do I develop a positive mindset? And it's about shifting your focus from those challenges and the obstacles to the outcome, to the value that you can add. I don't mind if somebody says no to me. I don't mind if I get a, where did you get this number from? Or a, I'm not interested, or we're already sorted. Because the chances are they've already spoken to somebody similar to you. They've already explored, or they might already be working with somebody similar to you. But I'm here to add extra value. I'm here to see if there's another way that I can support them. They're not being supported, because I've seen transformation with others, and I'd love to see transformation with you. We need to stay motivated. We need to set realistic goals. If your organization, whether it's you setting the goals or whether it's somebody you're working for, is, talking about these power hours or talking about, outbound to 100 people, it's absolutely realistic, yes. But get started somewhere smaller. Work out the best time to make an outbound call for you, for your business, for your industry, for your location. For Australia, a lot of the time it's mornings. Everybody's up an atom, especially in Perth. I've never seen cafes so busy at 6:30 a.m. But the people get into the office early. They're in at 8. I always remember in the UK, the CEO of the company I used to work for, he would always say that, ring people at 8:30. Now in the UK, they're not as early starters as we are in Australia. But when I was there, he would say, ring at 8:30, catch them off guard, because often the owner of the organisation of that business is in early and you beat the receptionist and therefore you get through. Now, again, not always the case. Know your industry, know your market, know your location and what works for you. But try the times that get you the best results. Start there. Do an hour. Set yourself a goal to call 50 people and you've only ever called 32 before. Set a goal for 50. And then once you've achieved that, set a goal for 60 and then 70 and so on and so forth. Whatever that number is, whatever the little goals are, and then celebrate those accomplishments. If it's your business and you've never done this before, obviously absolutely get some training, absolutely, leverage somebody that knows what they're doing. But set yourself those little goals. And once you've done it, go and get coffee. Go for a walk down the beach. Go to the gym. Go and meet a friend. Go and make that phone call to someone that you want to go and have a chat to. Set yourself a different goal in terms of setting up meetings, and maybe set yourself a goal, if you achieve this, you go away for the weekend. You go out for dinner, you go and celebrate with somebody. Set the goals and set the parameters realistically, and then celebrate them, and then increase them, and then do it again. So keep yourself motivated. As I said before, embrace rejection. So these are tips around developing your positive mindset. Embrace rejection. I love a no. One of my clients, she will hopefully, I know that she listens to this podcast, so you'll know who you are. And she will come to me and say, "Oh, we got told no, or we got told this," and I'm like, "Awesome!" And she loved that because I didn't go, "Oh, okay, well, what did you do and what didn't you do, and how did that impact, and what did you say and why didn't you say this?" I was just like, "Great, awesome," because the no's we learn from, the no's we can learn to do better with. The yeses are great because we know what we did was right, but the no's we can learn from, which means that we can only get better. So embrace rejection, embrace the no, take it as a learning experience, but understand why you got the no. Do you need some training? Do you need some support? Is it the fact that what it is that you offer isn't right for them right now? Connect with them, add value. So we want to keep motivated. We want to focus on the benefits. We want to focus on the conversation by asking a great question, asking a question that clients similar to them would have a lot to answer for. Ask them how they're overcoming a certain challenge. Ask them if they're experiencing the same thing that your clients are experiencing. Okay. One of the other things in terms of tips for developing a positive mindset is visualization. Visualize yourself succeeding and achieving your goals. Write down the end of the week. Write down everything you want to have achieved and write it as though it happened. Write it on the Friday as though this week I succeeded in securing 5 meetings. I was able to speak to 17 people. I was able to close off an opportunity for this, and I was able to move 3 things along. Whatever that looks like for your week, visualize it and go after it. If we know where we're going, it's a lot easier to follow along the journey than if we're just winging it or trying to find something or trying to make something work along the way. Okay, so we've gone through about understanding mindset. We understand about the right mindset and how it affects your outreach, knowing that outreach is often our biggest blocker. If you've been listening to this podcast for a little while, I always talk about outreach. I talk about collaboration of outreach, multiple different approaches, but it's often the thing that businesses are not doing. They will take the inbound leads, they will go to a networking event, they will have a conversation with a few people. They might nicely DM a few people. They may be a bit more direct in terms of their sales, but they are not outreaching effectively. They're not going after the ideal clients that you want and leveraging the verticals, whether that be industry, client type, industry type, company size, location, whatever that may be, challenges, outcomes. We're not leveraging those verticals and trying to replicate them, those copy and paste opportunities. Okay. So again, coming back to the replicate your ideal clients, that's an episode I actually referenced last week. And it's an episode I'm sure I'll keep referencing, but there is a great episode on reigniting ideal clients. And it's a great place to start for outreach. It feels like a gentler approach, but we have to come back to mindset. We have to understand where our sales mindset is. I want you to think about where your sales mindset is and how you feel about it. I want you to understand how your mindset is affecting your outreach today, or how it potentially could affect your outreach if you've not yet started. And then be sure to go through the tips for developing a positive mindset. We've got focusing on the benefits, focusing on asking a question, embracing rejection, setting a goal for the meeting, which doesn't have to be closing a sale. Okay, keep motivated, set mini goals and celebrate them. Visualize the success of your week or month or quarter or year. You know, I've been part of these goal setting exercises where they talk about writing a letter to yourself and even getting somebody to post it for you in a year and see what you're able to achieve. It comes back to those vision boards. You know, I've talked about vision boards before. I remember the first time doing one thinking it was a load of nonsense and did it. And it was incredible what I was able to achieve just because I put out there what it was that I wanted to achieve, what it was that I wanted to do in that year. And I did. And so think about where that comes to. Think about the crucial steps in your outbound to have a successful outreach approach. We need to incorporate mindset. If you are doing outreach at the moment and you are finding that you are not being as successful as you'd like to be, start here. Start with mindset. See what changes you can make to your mindset and see how that can help your outreach. I'd love to know if this episode supported you. Sales mindset, like I said, is a hot topic. It's something that I'm always asked about, or it's something that I just witness. I just see in any training or any engagement. I just see the mindset, and the ones that have a wavering mindset don't achieve as much in that time as the ones that have a solid, really strong mindset. And sometimes it's just reframing what outbound is. Sometimes it's the word outbound that you're like, ugh, that's not for me. Okay, so I'd love to know what you thought about this episode. You can DM me at Harriet Sales Coach on Instagram. You can connect with me and share this episode across LinkedIn. I'm Harriet Meller. Visit yoursalesco.com if you want more resources, if you want to find out more about what I do at Your Sales Co. If you want some extra support around your outreach, I would absolutely love to talk to you, find out more about what it is that you're doing and who it is you're trying to help, and see how I can support you along the way. Thanks so much for being here again this week. I'm Harriet Meller, and this is Sell Like You. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you haven't already, make sure you hit follow or subscribe because I guarantee you won't want to miss next week's episode.